Genesis 33:18 through 34:31. Devotional focus verse. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. Genesis 34:30. Many times the wicked actions of an individual bring shame to an entire family. Edwin Thomas Booth, 1833 through 1893, was a renowned American actor who played Shakespearean roles. As the lead character in Hamlet, he was famous for the 100 Nights Hamlet, which was a record number of same-stage performances that was not broken until 1922. However, his life took a dramatic turn on April 14, 1865, when his brother, John Wilkes Booth, shot President Abraham Lincoln, who died the next day. As a result of the reproach caused by his brother's action, Edwin retired from acting for some months. Although he later returned to that profession, his brother's murderous deed continued to impact him for the rest of his life. A reproach is defined as a cause of blame or discredit. It is sad enough when a person's actions place a stigma on that individual's family, but it is much worse when actions discredit God or Christianity. Every day, in subtle or brazen ways, the devil tries to bring shame into believers' lives. He may falsely accuse us of being a party to a wrong action, or he may tempt us to actions or reactions that would be a reproach to the gospel. Whatever attempts he makes, we must ask God to help us not do anything that would reflect negatively on our Christian testimony. If a reproachful situation does occur, the best action is to go to God in prayer, asking Him to lead and show us the right path to follow. If we fail to take such a step, we may aggravate the problem, making a bad circumstance even worse. Such was the case regarding Dinah in today's text. Shechem's actions against her were impulsive and evil. However, it is not recorded that Dinah's brothers brought the situation to God in prayer. Rather, seething anger boiled up in their hearts. Simeon and Levi took matters into their own hands, instituting a plan by which they slew all the males of the city. What terrible shame this heinous behavior brought upon Jacob's family. The problem of sin and violence will never be solved by more sin and violence. Though wickedness abounds, we must be careful not to react to evil and injustice in an ungodly manner, for that will bring reproach to the name of the God we serve. Rather, we should go to God in prayer, asking Him to show us the right response. He will direct our thoughts and actions so that our behavior is befitting of His followers. Background information. Today's text is the sad account of the violence which occurred between Jacob's family and one of the tribes of Canaan. After leaving Padanaram, Jacob and his family settled in Shechem, a city of Shechem. This area was about 2/3 of the way to Hebron, where Isaac, Jacob's father, was then residing. The place was thought to have lush pasture and grazing land, so stopping there gave Jacob's family and livestock an opportunity to rest for a while. The end of chapter 33 says he purchased land and built an altar at that location. Because Dinah, Jacob's only daughter, was close in age to Joseph, she was probably in her early teens when the events of chapter 34 transpired. Jacob was unfamiliar with the customs and behavior of the people of this area. The young women of Haran seemingly had significant freedom to move about with safety, as shown by the accounts of Rebekah and Rachel, but that apparently was not the case in Shechem. Among the tribes of Canaan, crimes and vices may have been more prevalent. While Dinah was out in a field, Shechem, a Hivite prince, kidnapped and raped her. At Shechem's demand, his father, Hamor, entered into negotiations with Jacob so that Dinah might become Shechem's wife. Jacob's family was smaller than the local tribes, and his sons resorted to deceit by agreeing to let Dinah be married if the local men would be circumcised. They claimed to be defending their family against reproach, but their pretense degraded a ceremony that was sacred to Abraham's descendants. While the men of Shechem were incapacitated, Simeon and Levi, who were sons of Leah and therefore full brothers of Dinah, killed them. Then the other brothers joined in taking spoil from the city. These actions of Jacob's sons brought a reproach to him and made him afraid that local tribes would take revenge and kill them all. Conclusion: we can ask God to help us avoid reproach and to respond to wrong and injustice in a manner that glorifies Him.
And Jacob came to Shechem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padanaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field, where he had spread his tent, at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it El Elohe Israel. Genesis chapter 34. And Dinah the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her, and lay with her, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter, I pray you give her him to wife. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you, dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us, to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein, for the land, behold, it is large enough for them, let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. And all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?